And I'm doing the midterm.
Oh, then afterwards, I'll just where were you talking to?
I read it upstairs where you that, and then I did it for Dr.
That's where Valerie.
Oh, good. Okay, we're still there.
Okay, we're still waiting on some more. Judge, the defendant's family's upstairs. We sent somebody to get them. Okay. Go ahead. There they are. Okay. Thank you, Valerie.
Thank you.
Everybody's good.
Gentlemen, ready.
Okay. Bring our jury, please. Yes, sir. Bring them in. Yes, sir. Thank you for humoring me. Ready, Judge? Yes, sir.
All rise. Jury entering.
Jury's back in the courtroom sitting, defendant and counsel present, please be seated and walk. I understand members of the jury that you have arrived at a final verdict and sentences, is that correct?
Yes.
Please pass the forms to our bailiff. I'll ask the clerk to please publish the advisory sentences, count 1 and 2, and I'll ask defendant and counsel please rise and face the jury.
In the state of Florida versus Dontae R. Morris in case number 10-10203, advisory sentence. A majority of the jury by a vote of 12-0 advises and recommends to the court that it impose the death penalty upon Dontae R. Morris, dated at Tampa, Hillsborough County, Florida, this 19th day of November 2013, signed by Justin Bone, foreperson. The state of Florida versus Dontae R. Morris, case number 10-10203, advisory sentence. A majority of the jury, by a vote of 12-0, advises and recommends to the court that it impose the death penalty upon Dontae R. Morris, dated at Tampa, Hillsborough County, Florida, this 19th day of November 2013, signed by Justin M. Bone, foreperson.
Thank you. Counsel, I'll be seated. Thank you. Members of the jury, the clerk is not going to ask each of you individually concerning the advisory sentences. It is not necessary that you state how you personally voted or any other person voted, but only if the advisory sentences as read were correctly stated. Madam Clerk.
Do you, Mr. Buckland, agree and confirm that a majority of the jury join in the advisory sentences that you just heard read by the clerk?
Yes.
Do you, Ms. Pritzker, agree and confirm that a majority of the jury join in the advisory sentences that you have just heard read by the clerk?
Yes.
Do you, Mr. Nurse, agree and confirm that a majority of the jury join in the advisory sentences that you have just heard read by the clerk?
Yes.
Do you, Mr. Edwards, agree and confirm that a majority of the jury join in the advisory sentences that you have just heard read by the clerk?
Yes.
Do you, Mr. White, agree and confirm that a majority of the jury join in the advisory sentences that you have just heard read by the clerk?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you, Ms. Simmons, agree and confirm that a majority of the jury join in the advisory sentences that you have just heard read by the clerk?
Yes.
Do you, Ms. Merlini, agree and confirm that a majority of the jury join in the advisory sentences that you have just heard read by the clerk?
Yes.
Do you, Mr. MD, agree and confirm that a majority of the jury join in the advisory sentences that you've just heard read by the clerk?
Yes.
Do you, Mr. Bryant, agree and confirm that a majority of the jury join in the advisory sentences that you have just heard read by the clerk?
Yes.
Do you, Mr. Scott, agree and confirm that a majority of the jury join in the advisory sentences that you have just heard read by the clerk?
Yes.
Do you, Ms. Bonneau, agree and confirm that a majority of the jury join in the advisory sentences that you have just heard read by the clerk?
Yes.
And do you, Mr. Bone, agree and confirm that a majority of the jury join in the advisory sentences that you have just heard read by the clerk?
Yes.
Thank you. Members of the jury, I want to thank all of you very much for the time and consideration you gave everyone in the case. I'd like to take just a moment to advise you of some privileges that you'll enjoy as jurors. Please understand that no juror can ever be required to talk about what you discuss in the jury room except by court order. For many years, we've recognized that because we have to rely on individuals such as yourself to decide all kinds of cases, that we should allow your votes and your discussions to remain your private affair as long as you wish. You may find that someone will question your advisory sentences or the verdicts that you rendered because that person is curious, or maybe because that person finds fault with it. However, whether you wish to disclose your thoughts and your deliberations with anyone is up to you and you alone to decide. So you can maintain your privacy if you wish. Conversely, however, you're not at liberty to talk about your experience with whomever you wish. You can discuss the trial or the advisory sentencing process with your friends, with your neighbors. You can talk with the witnesses. You can talk with the lawyers. I will tell you, I've done this for many years, and I know that lawyers like to know what jurors such as yourselves think about the case after it's been litigated. However, please understand that lawyers are prohibited ethically from coming up to a juror and asking anything at all about the case. A lawyer can speak with you about the case if and only if you approach the lawyer. I'm not suggesting that you should or shouldn't. I'm simply letting you know that if you want to talk with the lawyers, you'll have to initiate that process. I will tell you, I'm going to discharge you now, and the bailiffs, I think, have worked out with you how to get you back to your homes in Orlando. And I can promise you that there has been a lot of media interest in this case, understandably so. That's why we kept you sequestered, to make certain that you didn't hear anything at all about this case that you shouldn't hear. But you no doubt will be approached by people who are interested to know your thoughts. Perhaps some folks from the media, perhaps not. I just want to let you know that you're at liberty to discuss the case if you wish. You don't have to if you don't want to. You can maintain your privacy if that's what you wish. But I want to thank you again. I do apologize for the inconvenience we visited upon you. The food wasn't great, the accommodations weren't the best, and you had to be away from your families for a long period of time. We do appreciate it, all the efforts that you expended on our behalf. But having said those things, I want to thank you again. I'll discharge you at this time. We have jury services letters for each and every one of you, and the bailiffs will accommodate you in getting you transported back to Orlando. Before we recess, do you have any questions to report? Anyone at all? All right, again, I want to thank you again very much for your help and your assistance. And again, I apologize for the inconvenience we visited upon you. And we'll be in recess at this time.
Can I get the four alternates first?
Sure. And there are four alternate jurors, if you folks would come up.
All rise.
Okay, our jurors can all be seated. All right, the jury have returned advisories as indicated. I'll direct the clerk to record those advisory sentences. And procedure, the next matter we need to do, counsel, is schedule a Spencer hearing. How much time do you need, if any?
We need some period of time, Your Honor. Mr. Bolt and I have another death penalty trial coming up in February, as you know, December and January are
in this county?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I would ask you if we could wait until March.
Well, no, I just want to schedule a Spencer hearing sometime.
I understand that.
Yeah.
But
do you anticipate presenting anything additional to the court?
We may well do that, yes, sir.
Okay. Well, I'd like to get that done this year, and after the Spencer hearing, the two things I need to, whatever information you can present at the Spencer hearing, I will enter an order sometime this week directing counsel to provide me with a sentencing order, and after the Spencer hearing, we'll schedule a sentencing date, which likely would be, when is your trial, in February?
Yes, sir. It's February 3rd, if I remember correctly, and it is a death penalty case. We have 4 other death penalty cases scheduled in the next 6 months, Judge.
Well, I'd like to just pick one date for a Spencer hearing date. What works for you this year?
For me, at the end of February, early March, because we really are not going to have time to attend to these matters with these other trials impending.
All right, State, anything?
Judge, we'd like to set it in December.
I can't hear you, I'm sorry.
We would like to set it in December if possible.
Well, at the Spencer hearing, the only other evidence I consider is that anything the defense presents, nothing that the state would present.
Yes, sir.
Is that correct? That's your understanding?
Yes, sir. I believe the court normally will listen to victims' family members and whatnot, but in consideration, I agree with that.
Okay. I'll set this tentatively, and if it proves to be impossible, we'll deal with it. Give me something late December as you can. Can I hear you? You tell me, whatever works. Yeah.
Judge, if you're gonna set it before March, I would respectfully request that it be in January. Trying to get these things arranged with experts, which is what we're considering doing.
Well, you want to present expert testimony?
We may well. We haven't made that decision, but that's a possibility.
Okay. Well, I'll set it tentatively then for any hearing, any additional defense evidence at a Spencer hearing. Let's just January 10 of 2014.
Okay.
Okay.
And between now and then, I will enter an order to both sides to present the sentencing memoranda, and then we'll schedule a sentencing date sometime after that.
Yes.
Anything else, State, before we recess?
No, Your Honor.
Counsel, anything additional?
Not at this time.
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Morris, there's nothing yet to appeal, sir, because you've not yet been sentenced. That may be sometime between now and March or April of next year before that happens, and after that you'll have a right to appeal. Okay, thanks all very much. We'll be in recess until tomorrow morning. Okay, thank you.
I'll be around.
My calendar is all synced properly.
Yeah. You're welcome. I'm going to didn't even drink it.
Why don't we get the car? Because I have to
And maybe I'll do something in the car and we'll wait. We'll wait and Chris. Yeah. That's what I do. When you want to get the car, Chris is going to do it.